Hey, good afternoon. It is a cold Sunday afternoon. It's almost 3 o'clock, but it's barely 3 degrees. I think it's like 8 degrees outside where we are, at least where I am. Welcome to the Inside Edge Network. This is illegal formation. Nothing illegal about it. You don't have to worry. You're not gonna get in trouble. Nobody's gonna knock on your door and say, "Hey, what are you watching?" You can tune in. You can watch the whole episode. It's fine. You don't have to. We're not bootleg or anything. We're totally legal, right? Just the name of the show is Illegal Formation. Anyway, I'm your host, Chad Bryan. That's enough nonsense. With me, as always, my man, TK Dandridge. TK, you staying warm today, man?
Doing the best I can. I got a space heater on full blast right now. It's actually right in front of me. It feels excellent. Doing the absolute best I can to stay warm. It's 4 degrees right now. 8 degrees. My apologies.
Yeah,
But
double that. Yeah, what are you talking about? It's way warmer than you thought.
yeah, just bracing myself for this snowstorm that's supposed to start either tonight or early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think overnight sometime we're supposed to start getting some snow, and then looks like it's going to be a snowy Sunday. TK, I'm gonna try something different, man. I'm gonna try to get some live on location reports on the Inside Edge Network NFL pregame show tomorrow. We're gonna try to I might start it off outside in the snow. We'll see what happens. I might try to get you guys a live shot of what it looks like. We'll see. You never know. I know that Ohio has already declared a state of emergency ahead of the storm. Storm's not even here yet. It hasn't even started to snow. It's sunny and beautiful. Other than the fact that it's freezing cold outside, and minutes after you walk outside, your nose is frozen, your eyes are frozen, your sinuses are frozen. Pretty much
And
anything.
everybody is at the grocery store.
Literally everyone is at the grocery store. I just did that this morning too. My kids and I went to the store, and it was wild. It was insane. So we got that. We made it though. We got almost everything we needed. I think we only had one thing that we couldn't find. So they weren't like ransacked or anything. Shout out to them. I don't know if I should name them or not, but good job out of you, whoever you are, right? The mystery grocery store that I shopped at this morning. Anyway, listen, we got to start off today. We have some breaking news. It's breaking news time. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. The Pittsburgh Steelers supposedly are in the process of hiring Mike McCarthy to be their next head coach. This is the guy that they've tabbed to be there for the next 2 decades, I guess. Right? Are we going to see that? Listen, Mike McCarthy, we know a little bit about McCarthy. You know, Dallas Cowboys fan. He's been a little bit everywhere, but is he going to stay there for 20 years, TK? Do you think Pittsburgh has their next 2-decade guy, or is he going to be a 3 or 4 year and out of there kind of guy?
This is definitely 3 years or less, to be quite honest. Depending on how well the Steelers do next year, could possibly be a 4-year affair. Not really sure as of right now. Don't know how excited the Steelers fan base is over this hire, but definitely makes some sense. Maybe if you're pushing for an Aaron Rodgers reunion, which I thought was potentially out of the cards, especially with how the season ended. And of course, with Aaron Rodgers being 43, December 8th of this year. So, there's a lot to think of, but why not bring back his former coach that brought him to glory 15 years ago, albeit, but still a coach that he's had a ton of success with. He knows the system front and back, and we'll see. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers continue the winning seasons going with McCarthy as the head man. We'll see.
Maybe, yes. As far as being there for 20 years, a little tongue in cheek. He's 62 years old, so if he's going to coach there for 2 decades, he'll be in his 80s by the time he's done. I guess they say you have to have a short memory sometimes to be a head coach in the NFL, and at least at that point, I mean, it's something maybe he'll have accomplished that. I have no idea. So anyway, yeah, Pittsburgh working with Mike McCarthy on a deal to become their next head coach. Not a total surprise, but I don't know. It seems like whoever Pittsburgh was going to hire, it's going to be polarizing either way. Like you said, we don't really know what Steelers fans think about it. If you're watching or you tune in at any time, or you just you're watching us after the live stream, if you're a Steelers fan, let us know how you feel about Mike McCarthy as the next Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, a quick note: it looks like the Guardians are working to extend Jose Ramirez. I think 7 years, $135 million contract extension with some deferred money. Don't know. Oh, that's per John Heyman of Yahoo Sports, by the way. I don't know all the details of that, but I thought that was great news. I mean, it's good to see the Guardians. We talked about the Guardians not really jumping in on the deferred payment stuff. But I guess now that we're headed toward a work stoppage, everyone's like, hey, might as well spend the money, right? We don't know what's going to happen.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they'll get some of that.
It turns out the deal is going to be for 7 years, a little over $175 million. Tell me why this feels like such a bargain, especially in today's climate, as far as the player market. I honestly think the Cleveland Browns screwed up the player market across all 4 major North American sports. Is that possible?
Sure. If any franchise was going to do it, it was going to be the Browns. I mean, absolutely, yeah.
I think the NBA may have had a hand in it as well, especially with the new TV deal that they got right before the 2016 NBA season.
Yes.
Before the 2014 NBA season. I'm sorry. 2015 season. Whatever the case may be. But yeah, that seems like such a deal for an elite player like Jose Ramirez, especially since he's been here his whole career, basically. He's kind of a hometown guy, even though he's not from here. So to get him for 7 years and a couple hairs under 180 million, that's pretty good. That was actually some good news to hear today, actually.
Yeah. It's an enormous bargain, and it's. I think some fans were. Everybody's happy. Obviously, everybody loves Jose Ramirez here in Cleveland. There's no doubt about that. But I think some people are like, well, this isn't the same as going out and adding another bat. Yeah, this is like, okay, great. We've extended our guy. He's going to be here, but we still didn't. We didn't give him anything else, right? There's no protection in the lineup for him, which is true. But this is still good news. This is a great. The fact that Jose Ramirez is still willing to stay here. I said it on Thursday Night Topics with Eli Moon. Listen, Jose deserves better, man, right? Than we give him. I'm glad that he's loyal to the city and to the franchise, to the Guardians. But man, and the fans love him. No one treats him, but he deserves better, right? He deserves. This is a guy that deserves to be in the World Series every year. I don't know if that means you go sign with the Dodgers or whatever, but I just wish the guy had a chance to play in the World Series and be on the sport's actual biggest stage every year. He just deserves better. But yeah, great guy, great player. I think MLB just put him at number 5 on their list of top 100 players in the league. So yeah, to get a top 5 player in Major League Baseball at 7 years at $175 million on an extension is definitely the hometown discount. That's a huge bargain. So happy for Jose Ramirez, happier for Cleveland. It's great to see that he'll be most likely, I would think, here for the rest of his career, unless things go south quickly and he demands a trade. You never know, but good to see that. I thought that was good news this morning as well. What else is going on a Sunday? We got the storm coming. We talked about that. And by the way, as always, I didn't say on the top of the show, we're brought to you by LPV Productions. So again, Illegal Formation with Chad, Bryan, and TK Dandridge on the Inside Edge Network, brought to you by LPV Productions. Oh, coach search. Let's talk about the Browns quick, because some information while we're leaking news, while we're breaking things, we're not leaking. I did that before the show. I went to the bathroom before the show. We're good. I'm not that old. I'm not leaking over here. I'm getting there, TK. But anyway, so some information leaked about what you have to go through as a candidate for the Browns head coach spot. Okay. And it doesn't sound like it's normal by any means. It sounds like there might be a written essay. I don't know, some true false questions, multiple choice. Why do you want to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns? You have to write a little story. I think what it is, this is my sneaking suspicion. We never actually know. We get bits and pieces of information leaked. Like we knew Paul DePodesta came here, but no one knew for 10 years what he did, right? We didn't know. We have no idea what he did here. He was analytics. Okay, well, the sneaking suspicion is that he was analytics in the sense that he told Jimmy Haslam or attempted to tell Jimmy Haslam how to more efficiently spend his money. I don't know. Was it a player thing? Was it a scouting development? We have no idea. We don't know. So I think that some of this information leaking out from the Browns is, I don't know. I guess people were saying, hey, maybe Kevin Stefanski was the source of this information that kept coming out little by little. Well, I don't think so, right? I mean, unless someone told him the interview process was like, and he leaked this. I don't know. I have no idea. My sneaking suspicion, TK, is that Jimmy Haslam just got stuck on a level of Candy Crush, And when these guys come in, he just hands over his phone and he's like, listen, I'm not paying for the game. I'm not comfortable paying for the game. Get me past level 79 and you got the job. It's yours and no one can do it. And that's why Mike McCarthy pulled out. He's not a Candy Crush guy. Or not Mike McCarthy, Mike McDaniel. He's not a Candy Crush guy, right? He doesn't play Candy Crush. He doesn't know Candy Crush level 79. So he wasn't going to interview in person. There's no way he was going to take that embarrassment, right? That's obviously happened, isn't it?
Right. It's definitely an unorthodox approach that we are taking with this year's coaching search. But for a team that is used to doing it, every 1 or 2 years, this is the first time in almost 7 years that we have had to do this.
Yeah.
So I understand that a thorough search is going to be conducted, and it is warranted. But at the same time, I understand why fans are starting to panic. It is the 24th of January. We still do not have our head coach. Granted, 4 other teams need head coaches as well. Now, I think that number is down to 4 total with the Steelers hire Mike McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I do believe that this needs to be a well-thought-out and thorough search. I still think there are a number of guys that deserve interviews at least. Obviously, a majority of the fan base knows the rift between Sean McDermott and Jimmy Haslam and how that would not have worked out. That wouldn't have transpired. Still don't know the complete basis of what happened there, but we do know that the coaching search of 2015 did not go well. Neither did 2016 either. So, yeah, there was that we had to get with the 2016 coaching search. I'm sorry, we still had Mike Pettin in 2015. That's my mistake.
But yeah, it gets easier to forget as you get older, TK. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any. It doesn't. Yeah, trust me. It's
yeah.
The years start together, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. I do understand the need to want to go in the offensive direction, especially with a younger candidate.
Yeah.
But I do believe that also you have to think of a culture change in some way. Can we win soon? As we all know, you can rebuild in as little as 1 year. I think the Cincinnati Bengals have showed us, pretty thoroughly how to do a quick rebuild the correct way. So, with that being said, I do understand the hype around Grant Udinski and possibly Nate Shieldhouse. But I definitely would have loved to see a few more veteran coaches interviewed. Definitely think Washington Commanders running backs coach Anthony Lynn, who was a head coach at one point with the Los Angeles Chargers. Miami Dolphins quarterbacks coach Darrell Bevell is one of my favorite guys. Denver Broncos offensive assistant Pete Carmichael Jr. Obviously, throw a couple of defensive guys in there as well. Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. I've been waiting for him to get another opportunity as a head coach. Granted, he is 66, and it would have been nice to see him get another opportunity, or at least get some buzz around the NFL. But, it's just, I really want Browns fans to just relax for a minute. The big thing that I want you guys to focus on this year is how this roster is built. What exactly do we plan on doing in free agency? I keep hearing this number of, it's been fluctuating lately, but it's anywhere between 40 and 70 million worth of cap space that we are supposedly going to have this year. I don't know where the hell that number came from.
I think if they can get creative. I think if they restructure Deshaun Watson and Denzel Ward's contract specifically, they can free up like 30 to 35 million there. I don't know exactly the details. I know I looked into it previously. I don't remember the exact all the X's and O's of that. But there are ways to restructure. You can create some money there.
I mean, I can understand you trying to restructure maybe Denzel Ward's contract, but you've already restructured Deshaun Watson's contract, 4 times now?
Yeah.
I mean, you still have a remaining total of about $150 million left on that contract that you're going to have to give him. And he's due $80 million this year.
Can we get the Dodgers to pay him? Can we get the Dodgers to pay him or no?
I wish. I truly wish we could. But this is a mess. I mean, first and foremost, whatever young you get in here, the first thing you need to do is apologize to that man. Listen, I'm sorry we brought you in here. We have no damn money. Our front office is even more yucked up than it was before. We thought getting rid of the analytic guys was going to help. The goofy issue is still going on. For whatever reason, Tom Telesto is leading our head coaching search. Is he supposed to be the new GM in place of what Andrew Berry once did, since he's the president of football operations or whatever the hell's going on? This is just more mumbo jumbo yuck by the Cleveland Browns. I just really don't know what's going on right now. But
no one does.
As far as the head coaching search is going on, listen, I'm okay with it being thorough. I am worried about losing Grant Udinski to the Bills.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest thing that probably scares me the most. Granted, there's one flip side that he may be too young. Half the damn team is older than him. But at the same time, when you hear about the schematic genius that he is and the help that he was able to provide to both Sam Darnold and Trevor Lawrence in these past 2 NFL seasons to help aid the careers of those quarterbacks, it is very intriguing, and you definitely want someone like that in Shedeur Sanders' corner, especially with how the season ended for him.
Yeah,
that nice first start. Of course, the game against the Tennessee Titans was absolutely lovely. Kind of hit a brick wall going at 53,000 miles an hour to end the season. It looked bad in some spots. But you do have confidence in the young man to be able to improve on that. We are going to – our head coaching search is going to go into February, Browns fans. I want you guys to know this. I want you guys to understand this. We very well may be the last team to get our head coach. The thought of that kind of stings. It's a little bit embarrassing, especially if Arizona finds a head coach before we do. I kind of think they're a little bit messier than we are. But, at least they have a few dollars to their name. We're $12 million in the red. So we got some time to figure that out. I don't know if we will. Andrew Berry has worked some cap magic as of late. We'll see what happens this offseason. Browns fans, buckle up, man.
Well, what do you make of the Browns? And listen, we got a quick comment, but before we get to your answer, TK, on that, I'll show this comment. The Browns they haven't satisfied the requirements of the Rooney Rule. I mean, that's what's really. I mean, if the Buffalo Bills want to offer Grant Udinski a job, there's nothing the Browns can do to stop it. And Raul Havana says Johnny Manziel is writing his essay on a cocktail napkin for Jimmy. Listen, that's a realistic possibility at this point. I mean, that's not even a joke anymore. Like, I think that's very realistic, honestly, Raul.
Probably crumpled it up, snorted it afterwards.
I mean, mostly, yeah, at least. I don't know. I feel like the Browns, this is their own doing, right? I don't know. I'm not sure. Mike McDaniel had an interview with the Bills in person. He pulled out of that too. At first, I thought the optics of that were crazy. I was like, wow, he's really going to pull himself out of the Browns interview, but still do the Bills interview. Like, that's wild. I mean, that really tells you, like, there's some type of dysfunction going on, right? But then he pulled out of the Bills interview too. So I guess that made me feel a little bit better as a Browns fan. I don't know.
Yeah, he wants to stay in Los Angeles with the palm trees and obviously with Jimmy and Herbie. So it definitely makes sense for him.
Well, how cold his shins would have been in Buffalo. Half the season, his shins would have been too cold in Buffalo. You can't do that. Can't wear capris on the side of Buffalo. That's just not going to work. So, he's out in L.A. So we talked about this Thursday night I talked about it with Eli Moon on Thursday Topics, but I'm going to ask you, TK, does Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDaniel, does that combination surprise you at all? I mean, that's a weird mix of personalities, right?
Definitely a weird mix of personalities, but definitely needed if you want to elevate this offense. That is the Los Angeles Chargers. We talk about how solid that unit really is, especially the wide receiving core, with the improvements to both Quentin Johnston and Lad McConkey. But what you want to see more of is more of the explosive plays. You go all the way up to Foxborough for a playoff game and you kick a field goal. We obviously need more than that, especially when we have a quarterback like Justin Herbert. I do understand the offensive line was beat to smithereens. You had Jamari Sawyer starting at left tackle. I think Zion Johnson, their left guard, was banged up. Bradley Bozeman and Mekhi Becton have been absolutely terrible this season. Trey Pipkins III has struggled immensely. So, yeah, the offensive line was definitely an issue in Los Angeles, but at the same time, it is the same narrative with Justin Herbert not being able to get it done in the postseason. I definitely think adding Mike McDaniel to the coaching staff is going to be a big boost. We're a team that is already solid that needs a little bit more push. And I definitely think McDaniels in the schematic department is going to benefit them heavily.
Yeah. Well, I guess it makes me feel a little bit better that I said, McDaniel's not going to go talk to the Bills. At first, it really looked like the Browns were messing this thing up, but I don't know where this leaked information comes from. And then, McDaniel was, Mary Kay Cabot reported that she was the first to report that Justin Minter was pulling out of his interview, in-person interview anyway, with the Browns. And it's like, you wonder, okay, are these opportunities just better opportunities? Is there something truly going on? Is there a reason these guys are staying away from the Browns? Is it the ownership? Is it I don't know. I mean, it was rumored this week that they're making them take personality tests and do written essays, and the guys just not want to mess with that. It's like, hey, listen, I'm a football coach, man. I'm not coming in here to take the state placement test or whatever. Like, I'm not, I have to
graduated from college already.
Yeah, I got to get a 340 on math to get the Browns head coaching. Like, what's going on? Whatever. It's a weird situation. It's going to continue. Probably all the way up through whoever's ends up getting hired here as head coach. So, I would just be prepared for that if I were you. Again, Browns fans, like TK Dandridge said, buckle up. I really don't know what else to say. Let's just completely switch gears. We'll stay with football, but we're gonna go college football. We got to talk about the college football playoff, national championship game, right? The Indiana Hoosiers take down the Miami Hurricanes 27-21. We were right in that score range, by the way. I know you had picked Miami to win. They were right there. And honestly, Carson Beck, like you said, if he doesn't throw that interception, they probably end up winning that game. They were moving the ball pretty well at the end, but hey, it doesn't matter. Indiana won. And I was watching that game, and I really wanted to because I had watched him all year and kind of compared him a little bit to Julian Sayin. I couldn't help it. They're both Heisman candidates. They're both right here in our backyard, the Big Ten. And I watched Mendoza the whole game, and I thought, he's not really doing anything that Julian Sayin can do until he did, right? That touchdown run. We texted about it. I joked with you. I said, Julian Sayin, that's not in his repertoire, man. Like, that physically, Sayin's not pulling that run off. And I know everybody says, well, go back and look at his high school film. He ran all over the place. Yeah, that was that was a tough run, man. That was a Fernando, man. That was a 6'3", 6'4", 230-pound guy. To the end, man, at all costs. Like, he nearly broke himself on that run. So I came away impressed, even though the numbers don't pop off the page. I think he threw for like 186 yards, no touchdowns, but he didn't turn the ball over, right? No, weird interceptions or whatever, no underthrown balls. Just kind of managed the game, took what Miami gave him, which isn't a ton, right? With Messidor and Bain on the defensive line, and just the way that Miami's just, they were playing really, really inspired football all around. But especially on the defense. I know all the talk was about Carson Beck and his experience and, all the ranked wins or whatever. And he was on the bench for a couple of national championships, whatever. I mean, really, it was the Miami defense that drove. I thought there were some unfortunate things afterwards. We can do that in a minute. We can talk about all that in just a minute. But what was your takeaway, man? You watched the game. I mean, you watched the whole game, right? You watched Indiana win?
Just about, yeah.
I thought Indiana played probably their sloppiest game of the year. They still got by with it, but I thought that was honestly, I thought that was more of a testament to how tough Miami was on defense. Indiana didn't look like the well-oiled, disciplined offensive line that I watched play all through the playoffs and the Big Ten championship, and a couple of times I got to see them during the regular season. They looked like they were a little bit out of sorts, right? Like Miami, that pass rush will do that to you. But what was your takeaway? Like I said, Indiana wins at 27-21. I mean, what'd you come away? 16-0 of the Hoosiers. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I think Indiana probably completed the most shocking national championship season in quite some time. I don't even know how far to go back. But to go 16-0 with a bunch of misfits and non-5-star recruits is definitely an incredible thing to do. I definitely thought Miami had the talent edge, and the gap was kind of considerable. You saw it in bits and pieces of the game, but Indiana did not get caught up in the glitz and glamour of what the game was. They knew that the talent disparage was definitely noticeable, but it wasn't that wide of a gap as maybe it may have felt at the beginning of the game. I thought Fernando Mendoza did a very good job of managing the offense. And speaking of him personally, because he has a lot of NFL draft stock riding on him this spring coming up, I definitely think this kid is worthy of the number one overall pick. Now, I do think this draft class in its entirety is a bit underwhelming as a whole, maybe a bit underwhelming. But as far as Mendoza, I do think he will fit in with the Las Vegas Raiders perfectly. He does have a very good live arm. The ball does pop, especially when he flings it downfield. Yeah. The intermediate throws are very sexy as well. He's very accurate. He has NFL arm talent. So that's not going to be a problem at all. The ball does come out smoothly. Nice pop, nice crisp to it. You rarely see him throw those wounded ducks that some quarterbacks tend to throw. Sometimes your rhythm might get thrown off a little bit. You might be sped up a bit or something like that. He usually stands in there real tough, just hangs in there tight, and he can make all of the throws. He's going to be a wonderful pro prospect. And I'm just thinking about that Oakland Raiders offense right now with Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers, and a much improved Trey Tucker. Obviously, you want to see big jumps from Dante Thornton and Jack Beck II, but I think that'll come back in time. Obviously, you're excited about getting Colton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson back, and they're going to figure out what to do with the rest of the offensive line. That Raiders team is going to be a team to look out for next year. I'm not going to go off the edges and say that they're going to win the AFC West and let them go crazy, but they should improve significantly with 15 being a part of their team. And that Mendoza jersey, that Mendoza jersey out there in Vegas is going to sell like crack in the 80s. As far as the rest of the Indiana team, I loved how their offensive line played. Carter Smith struggled a little bit earlier with Ruben Bain. Hey, it was to be expected. He's the best edge rusher in this class. He's been wreaking havoc this entire playoff, but I think he cleaned it up quite significantly as the game went on. Pat Coogan struggled a little bit at the center position. He managed to get it together as the game went on as well. I was very proud of those young men. Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper are also going to be very good pros considerably. These guys are going to probably be, second, third round targets. They might be able to sneak in the first round. Got to think, what's the demand at wide receiver this offseason come April. I don't really expect that much noise to be generated in March for free agency, though we might get some. We might see Alec Pierce become a $100 million receiver. So, it's just a lot of things to look for this offseason. A lot.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: What was we said pretty much all we can say about the game. I mean, Miami, they created havoc like we thought they would. Indiana made all the adjustments like you would think they would have done under Kurt Signetti. He seems to be pretty cool under fire. So I guess my question to you is, how do I want to? What was the worst Okay, I don't want to say worst. What was fine. What was the worst transgression after the game? Was to me, I think people made a huge deal of Mark Fletcher Jr. reacting in the moment and punching Tyreek Tucker from Indiana, right? But no one really made that big of a deal of Carson Beck kind of running off the field. I mean, that's sort of like that's premeditated, right? That's a calculated move. I mean, I know that there was video of Fletcher waiting around for Mendoza to finish an interview, gave him a hug, said something to him, congratulated him, went to move on. And then it sounds like Tyreek Tucker might have said something pretty egregious to Fletcher, which got a reaction out of him. Before I get your opinion, I'm going to be clear on this. I think what Carson Beck did is far worse than Fletcher reacting in the moment to what was supposedly said. listen, you're a quarterback, okay? Carson Beck's a starting quarterback of a team in the national championship game, right? First of all, so you're one of the final two teams standing. You have NBA draft status on the line. People are looking. You're under a microscope, right? You've got all the Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, all these, all the Miami alumni are on the side. They're waiting for you. They're looking to you to be a leader, and you throw an interception, right, to finish out the game, and you run off the field to the locker room, and you don't bother to even, where sportsmanship go with that, right? I don't know. I think what Beck did was worse than what Fletcher did. I get it. You don't ever really want to see a guy throw a punch in the post game. Sounds like that was egged out of him a little bit. Supposedly Tucker made a disconcerting remark about Fletcher's father who had passed away. I'll be really honest. I'm human. You might have gotten the same reaction out of me in that situation. But I can tell you something I wouldn't have done. I mean, I wouldn't have run off the field and gone to hide in the clubhouse locker room, whatever you want to say. You got to stand out there. You got to be a leader, right? I would think that if you're looking at Carson Beck now, from the standpoint of an NFL franchise who may have been possibly considering drafting him in the 3rd or 4th round, maybe he drops down to a 6th or 7th round guy now. It's just like the character maybe isn't there. I don't know, man. How do you feel about this? Am I wrong? Am I way off on this?
I'm not going to say that you're way off, but I just will say that Carson Beck being a sore loser has already been documented. He did things similar to this when he was at the University of Georgia. This does not surprise me at all. Mark Fletcher wanted to take a swing at Tyreek Tucker. Listen, Mark Fletcher should have been gifted at least 15 minutes to go after him, especially after what he said about his dead father. There's one thing that I really don't appreciate is when people try to bring family into personal business. Like, this is a combat between me and you. My family shouldn't have anything to do with this, especially not my dead family, unless your ass wants to be dead right with him. And Mark Fletcher should have been given that opportunity. If not to potentially kill him, at least beat the piss out of him for running his damn mouth inexplicably about something he knows nothing about, and absolutely showed zero respect for. So yeah, that was a very low, sleazy move by Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, it surprises you a little bit. I think that's way, way over the line. Obviously, and before that, I thought the Fletcher family story was a cool one. Like his mom driving to all the games. I mean, obviously she's a huge supporter. I was enjoying watching that, man. Like every time Fletcher would make a play, I'd show mom in the stands. I was loving that, man. That was a fun thing. But yeah, that should have remained fun. That probably never should have gotten to that point. So yeah, bad about Tyreek Tucker. Like I said, I don't really blame Fletcher for reacting at the moment. Terrible by Carson Beck to run off the field and hide like that. I can't respect it, man. I just can't. I'm sorry, man. After you lose a game, it's a game. You win some, you lose some. You stand out there, you go out there, you shake hands. You congratulate, Fernando Mendoza. You have a word with Curt Cignetti. You do the thing. You be a leader for your team, right? All the way through the end. It doesn't matter. It's over. You stand out there and you be a leader for your team. And the thick and thin, good and bad, whatever. Ups and downs, man. You're the quarterback. You got to be the guy. Sorry, I thought that was a bad move. I thought that was a way worse move. Anyway, yeah, Indiana. So we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the show. Indiana did a really cool thing. Indiana is their basketball team is they're the last squad to go undefeated and finish with a national championship. They went 32-0, I think the 75-76 season. And now the football team has an undefeated national championship. So they're the most recent school to do both of those things. Just crazy. Just absolutely amazing. First team to finish 16-0 since I think Yale in 1894. I don't know. I was like 9 years old back then. I don't really remember that clearly, TK. But yeah, really, Yale back in 94 went 16-0. And now Indiana in 2026, well, 2025-26. Just amazing. What an amazing story. And Curt Cignetti, for the record, was on the college football playoff committee. I'm not sure. I think for ESPN, he was out there and he said, well, when we play in this game next year, it's for the national championships. When we play in this game next year, well, everybody kind of laughed. Oh, what a moment. There they were. I mean, listen, and I made a funny joke on Thursday Topics. I publicly apologized to Curt Cignetti because I made a joke about him saying Google, right? So yeah, I don't know. I said to Curt Cignetti, my name's Chad Bryan. I say dumb things. Google me. Sorry I made fun of you, man, because apparently that's what you do. You win. I say dumb things. You can clearly look it up. It's been documented. Should have made the Kurt Signetti joke, man. He's not a joke. Listen, the guy's the real deal. You know, and there are. I think they've got a guy from TCU coming in to play here. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch like 5 years in a row like that. They look like they could be dangerous next year as well. I really don't know. Any early favorites for you for a national title next year? You got anything? Any teams that you're looking at? I mean, obviously, I'm always looking at Ohio State, but whatever. We'll see.
Me personally, obviously Ohio State is a big one. I definitely think this year we should show respect to the national champion and rank them as the preseason number one. I don't know why this never happens. When we won it, we were ranked third. I think when Michigan won, granted, we shouldn't care about that. I think they were ranked sixth after winning a national championship. Why are they ranked so low?
You're losing your quarterback, 8 to 10 other starters. I think that makes a difference. I think people look at it.
I understand. I get that. But, coming into a season, and then you see some of the big drops that happen, from week to week. But, regardless, definitely Ohio State, obviously. Hoping to see what these two teams that just played at the national championship do this year. Would definitely rank them in the top 5. Definitely thought they both had brilliant seasons. Cristobal is a very good head coach who proved himself this season. Going to have a really solid 2026 recruiting class. They should be right back where they were this year, possibly winning it. Don't want to speak that into existence. Obviously as a Buckeyes fan, but they were finally able to get their national championship run. Granted, it would have been. I honestly thought they were going to win it, but things happen.
Yeah.
I want to see how Oregon does. I definitely want to see how they bounce back. What they decide to do with Dylan Raiola now that he is committed to the university. I don't think he'll stay unless he plans to redshirt, which I think would be kind of strange since you already played 2 years of college football. You would think you want to go ahead and knock that junior year out, ball out, and then prepare for the 2027 NFL draft. You would think that would be the idea, which further confuses me as to why he left Nebraska. I understand it's not necessarily a good school, but at this point in time, son, I just think you would focus on, working towards the potential NFL money. That's what I think the young man should probably be focused at. But, hey, listen, I know nothing. I definitely think the kid is a very talented young man. I'm sure he enjoys the campus life. Wondering what he's going to do this upcoming season. Hopefully he doesn't have to play behind Dante more because Dante is going to start for them yet again. So that's going to be interesting. I want to see what Bama does. They got quite a few guys on that football team leaving. Obviously, Jeremy Bernard, Ty Simpson, Caden Proctor, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Want to see if Caden DeBoer can get this team to yet another double-digit win season. I definitely think he bounced back well this year from his first season in Alabama. It's going to take a little while, Alabama fans, just stick with him. It's going to take a while. You guys aren't going to be terrible. You guys aren't going to win 14 national championships either. But Kalen DeBoer is going to do what he can to keep you guys relevant, get you guys back into a good position. Louisiana State University, especially after the hire of Lane Kiffin, I know he's going to do the best that he can to try to build a super team or, something like the Monstars back in 96 or something like that. But, I definitely think that Louisiana State has an opportunity to be one of the 10 best teams in America next year, if not 5. So, for right now, those are the main teams that I'm kind of looking forward going into next college football season.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Trinidad Chambliss either. I'm not sure. He's suing the NCAA now. Tried to file for an additional year of eligibility, whatever. Got denied originally, and I don't know what's going to happen. If he's back at Ole Miss, I mean, they can be dangerous. I thought he elevated that team to just a whole new level after Lane Kiffin was gone. It was all the distraction media, all the talk of coaches being poached or whatever off the staff, and there was Chambliss just like leading that team into whatever. Obviously, they came up a little bit short, and that's okay. But I just feel like I don't know, they could be a little dangerous. They might there might be a team that flies under the radar a little bit. But yeah, I was going to say LSU. I'm really intrigued to see what Lane Kiffin does there. He recruits well anyway, and LSU seems to be a pretty. I mean, that's a too big to fail, right? I mean, it's like you can go into LSU and sleep through the recruiting cycle and end up probably with the top 12 or 14 class. So it seems like Lane Kiffin can do some things there. I'm intrigued to see how long he lasts there and just how that goes. LSU is like just a squad to me that, other than the Joe Burrow year, they've just underperformed so much based on all the hype. I mean, they always have every year. It's like we go into the season and we talk about, okay, they've got the next guy, right? They've got a quarterback. He's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 guys off the board, and then before you know it, they're 2-2 or whatever, with a couple of bad losses, a 9-6 or whatever, 10-3, and you're like, what happened to LSU? Like I thought, you know what I mean? It just they never seem to quite get there. But Coach O got him there with a heck of a squad. But I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to predict college football. 2 years ago, if I would have told you that Indiana was about to go on a run where they're, I don't know, 30-2 or whatever, and they'll win the national title, you would have laughed me off the show. You would probably shut down my internet connection. I wouldn't have been able to talk about sports publicly anymore. But here we are. I mean, Kurt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions. Fun story. They're going to make the sequel, probably call it Hoosiers. I don't know. I have no idea. It's so hard to predict. I'd love to think that Ohio State's going to be there, but I don't know. I mean, Ryan Day sometimes, has a tendency to I don't know. I don't even know that it's Ryan Day. This team just kind of sometimes goes away when you least can afford to go away, right? It needed them to come out physically tougher against Miami, and I think Indiana was a little bit shell-shocked at just how tough and quick and violent Miami was off the snap, and they adjusted, right? Ohio State never did. They didn't adjust in time. Indiana made those adjustments in time, and I don't know if that's coaching or mental toughness or physical toughness or what it is. I definitely don't think, I don't think Indiana's that much tougher than Ohio State physically. I just think sometimes it comes down to preparation, mental toughness, and just, like I said, just being prepared for those situations and knowing what to do when you get punched in the mouth. And speaking of punched in the mouth, did you see the clear targeting call that just completely got missed? I'm not even sure who the Miami hit Fernando Mendoza's chin with his helmet. Bloodied Mendoza up a little bit. I thought that was a clear. That's the targeting rule, right? Like that's what it was designed to prevent. Somehow that got missed. I understand letting him play. I get not calling a jersey grab here, a hold there, whatever. I that's fine.
That one was pretty obvious, though.
Yeah, I mean, when you put a helmet into a guy's chin, I think that should be called a penalty. Not even that it was intentional. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I have no idea. It's hard to judge.
No, it wasn't intentional. Obviously not. He's just trying to make a play, but those things, shouldn't happen. And you see the kid get up and his lip is bleeding. So
yeah.
He handled it well. So
yeah, and I don't know if people realize how fast this happens on the field. If you go to make a hit, the guy turns his body, turns his head, and all of a sudden now your helmet's going into his chin. It's really, really, really hard to judge intent on those plays. So I'm not gonna tag a kid with the intentional targeting. But I mean, intentional or not, targeting is written a certain way. It's supposed to be enforced, in that way by the officials on the field. So I thought that probably should have been a targeting call. Neither here nor there. Obviously didn't change anything. Indiana still won. So. Oh man, what else do I want to talk about? Are there any? So you like Grant Udinski, you said, for the Browns. I want to get back to the Browns head coaching thing because I'm just so perplexed at how much information, how much weird stuff has been leaked. And I guess I should have seen it coming because I mean we're Browns fans. We know we're here, we're local. I mean we hear all this stuff all the time. I am totally desensitized, TK, to hearing the fact that there's a whole personality test and I don't know. They're making them take the what's the old test that guys used to have to take? The Wonderlic test or whatever. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, Wonderlic. Yeah.
Remember they used to leak guys' scores and be like, oh, so-and-so got a 12 on the Wonderlic. They're going to be terrible. Or whatever.
I will never forget when Warren Sapp got the roast of Keely Smith over his Wonderlic score.
Yeah.
Keely Smith got a 9 on his Wonderlic, right?
Man.
A 9.
Well, listen, maybe
tell the whole world.
Yeah, I don't know if it directly correlates or not, man. But Achilles Smith did not come out into the NFL and have a good career, so I don't know. Maybe it's a direct correlation. Maybe it's not. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. But Achilles Smith was a puzzle back then. I remember that. I remember everybody saying what, and that's exactly how that played out too. Is Grant Udinski your favorite though for the Browns head coach? Like I said, I just want to get back to this before we get out of here today.
Yeah, at this point in time, I will take Grant Udinski. I do like his short, albeit pretty solid resume.
Okay.
You think for a guy to be 30 years old and to already have a decade of NFL experience, that's pretty wild to me.
Yeah.
But he was definitely a breath of fresh air for the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. Got their offense rolling. Trevor Lawrence having the best year of his career.
Yeah.
Also, getting good years out of guys like Travis Etienne, Parker Washington, and Brenton Strange, who looked really good as their starting tight end. Not to mention the trade for Jacoby Myers is really good. Jimmy Gladstone's a pretty good GM out there, too. Got to give a shout out to him. But Grant Udinski was very good as their offensive coordinator. Not to mention, we mentioned earlier that he worked with Sam Darnold in 2024. He had the best year of his career out there. So we're hoping for the same. Hoping we can do the same for Shadur Sanders. I mean, that would be beautiful to see, to see 12 throw for, 3,500, 4,000 yards, maybe, 25 or 30 touchdowns, cut down on the interceptions, try not to play so much hero ball. I know that he likes to play a little bit of playground ball, which is acceptable because, we've seen Joe Burrow do that with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
So, a little playground ball here and there never really hurt anyone too much, but it's the hero ball that I'm worried about. I'm hoping if we do get GU in here that he'll be able to help Shador clean that up. So, for right now, he definitely is the favorite. Obviously, Nate Shieldhouse will be the second. I still would love to see these guys at least talk to some veteran coaches, but I know that is not the general consensus for this particular head coaching search. This is a guy that they want around for a very long time, and I can understand that. That's fine. If that's the way that we're going, then I definitely think Grant Udinski will be the guy. Hopefully he is come February when our coaching search concludes.
Yeah, well, we will see at some point who the guy is going to be. Right now, I just have a sneaky suspicion it's going to end up being Jim Schwartz. I feel like we're gonna have to stay in house with it. And again, like the Browns' lack of adherence to the Rooney Rule is puzzling. I mean, some type of backup plan ready, place, something, anything. Again, that's on Andrew Berry, at this point. You can put it on Jimmy Haslam, but I feel like Berry is the one that's in charge of scheduling these things. Do you have no? I never know this. This is a problem for me. This is like a thought thing for me. I never really know if sometimes we give guys too much credit for just being there when the turnaround takes place. Like, okay, Grant Udinski was just there when Sam Darnold figured it out, right? And then he went to Jacksonville. Maybe he was just there when Trevor Lawrence figured it out. Maybe, right? We don't know. Agreed. Listen. I'll give you this. It's certainly coincidental that he goes to these places and these guys get better. They improve markedly. But I look at Dan. Here's my point. Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher has been the guy that everybody kind of keeps circling back around to. Like, hey, if the Browns get shut out of everything else, they're still looking at Dan Pitcher. They still have that's in their back pocket. He helped Joe Burrow become Joe Burrow. Or maybe Joe Burrow was just going to become Joe Burrow, regardless of who the Bengals quarterback coach and eventual offensive coordinator was, right? Maybe that's true. But we're talking about Joe Burrow. We're talking about T. Higgins. We're talking about Jamar Chase. And I again, this is something that I said on Thursday Topics. I just feel like it's like asking the Avengers crime fighting coordinator to come work with the Krusty Krab crew and get the same results. Like, it's not realistic. It's not going to happen. We've seen guys come in here and work with this franchise, right, that have had a ton of success elsewhere, and it just doesn't work in Cleveland for some reason, right? We don't know why that is. We never know. I don't know. I mean, are the Browns cursed? I don't know what that is. I have no idea why. So I don't expect anyone. Maybe I'm so I don't know if I'm pessimistic here, TK, or I'm real. I just don't expect anyone to come in and change around to the point where the Browns are now a legitimate contender. They're going to get to the AFC Championship game and look like a football team. We're going to be on the In the Hunt graphic in November again. Hey, meaningful football in December, whatever. Maybe even, I don't know, don't say it too loudly, but host a playoff game here in Cleveland. That'd be fun. I just thought about, think of how fun it would be this weekend if we had this snowstorm coming Sunday and the AFC Championship game in Cleveland. I mean, logistically, I get it. It's a nightmare. The travel, terrible. But the football would have been a lot of fun to watch, right? In the middle of a huge storm. Would have been a lot of fun. And you hope you have the running game to back that up because, man, you're not throwing the ball in that.
Would have made this horrible weather a lot more tolerable.
Yeah. If we had something to look forward to and a reason to stay in and just, pray our power stays on or whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, are you in or out on Dan Pitcher? Quick, since I brought him up.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to go back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Try to build up his resume a little more. I know that's kind of an asinine thing to say when you're talking about Grant Udinski, who's 30, who's possibly leading this team. But I just think we're just a little more excited about Grant Udinski's potential than that of Dan Pitcher. So yeah, I'm out.
Okay. What about Todd Monken? I mean, any love for Todd Monken? I mean, he has been there with Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh for a bit. I mean, their offense can be workable, right? What the Ravens did on offense was respectable. Again, you're not going to come here and get Lamar Jackson, taking the snaps. So it's a little bit different. You're not. I mean, Lamar Jackson is obviously a premier athlete when you talk about quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't necessarily know that Shedeur Sanders is quite that, but we don't really know what Shedeur Sanders is yet. He hasn't had, in my opinion, he hasn't had a fair shot at it yet. Are you out on Todd Monken? Any thoughts on him either way?
Todd Monken's going to follow John Harbaugh to the Big Apple to be their OC. He's pretty much out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a reason we haven't heard much buzz. As far as, the Browns go. It's all Browns fans, and I know a lot of local media like Todd Monken. I don't know. I don't really have much of a feeling one way or another. I don't think he's going to consider coming here for the head coaching job. But let me ask you this. One quick other question that I have for you on the Browns head coaching search. If it ends up being Jim Schwartz, I almost said Ray Schwartz. I don't know who that is. If it ends up being Jim Schwartz, he's the guy, right? He's obviously a defensive-minded coach that does one of two things. It keeps Jim Schwartz here, right? Keeps him in Cleveland. Now you've got to go out and find a defensive coordinator. My suspicion is you maybe hire from the staff. At that point, you just promote someone, defensively anyway. But offensively, would a guy like Nate Scheelhaus still be in play? Do you think he would come here to be the offensive coordinator? I mean, that would be a step up from him, right? He's the Rams passing game coordinator. He's not getting a ton of buzz anywhere else that I know of as far as head coaching jobs. A little bit of, I think he's getting an interview here or there, but I don't know that he's necessarily like the guy or one of the top two guys anywhere. Do you think Scheelhaus would come here and be the offensive coordinator? And if not, what direction do the Browns look? I mean, if Jim Schwartz were the guy on, for the head coach spot, who do you go with offensively as the coordinator? What do you do?
I think you got to dig deep in the well with some of those guys that I brought up earlier. I talked about Miami Dolphins quarterback coach Darrell Bevell. The Miami Dolphins just made Bobby Sloak their new offensive coordinator, so Darrell Bevell definitely could be in play for that. Denver Broncos offensive assistant Pete Carmichael is definitely a name up there, but I definitely think he would probably come here more so to potentially be the head coach rather than be the offensive coordinator. He had already been a long-time coordinator underneath Sean Payton. I think the trust between those two is very thick, and he enjoys being a part of that staff. The only way I see him really leaving is for a head coach job. Obviously, a name like Brian Daboll comes up. He was in Cleveland once upon a time. You remember the magical Peyton Hillis season back in 2010. He was definitely in Colt McCoy's ear quite often. So that's a name that kind of rings a bell a little bit. You think Mike McCoy, the interim head coach of the Tennessee Titans last year, obviously they didn't retain him. He may be looking for work still. I definitely thought that he could be part of some of the head coaching buzz that was going around this season. I definitely think he deserved another shot as a head coach. I don't get deterred by his 27-37 record at all. I thought he was a solid coach with the Chargers. Obviously, getting the first season of his stint there in were they in Los Angeles yet? I think they were still in San Diego.
When they moved. It's one of these coaching memories for me. It's like I don't remember the exact year. I don't remember when they moved anymore. Like, I don't know. Are the Raiders still in LA? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean?
But yeah, I definitely thought Mike McCoy would generate a little bit of head coach buzz. But if not, he definitely could be in play to be an OC here as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways you can go.
I don't know
that either. But I definitely think Shieldhouse comes here. If you're going to leave Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, it had better be for a way better opportunity. And I do understand that he's not the OC right now.
Yeah.
But that possibly could change in the near future. Regarding what Mike LaFleur does in these next couple of years, I do think he's going to stay with Los Angeles Rams. But if some team, there are still 4 teams that need a head coach. So Mike LaFleur could definitely be fielding interviews, especially if they lose this weekend.
Yeah, I think it puts you in a weird position a little bit. Be the offensive coordinator under Jim Schwartz. I think it puts you in a weird position because I don't think this Jimmy Haslam and this franchise, I don't think they're going to be quick to move Schwartz if things don't go well in year one. I don't think they're just going to send him out of here. I think you would really run the risk of making a lot of guys mad on that defense that you don't probably want to have mad. Myles Garrett being the A1 of the guys that I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, I think what you do is a little bit, you kind of become the first scapegoat out, right? If things don't go well, whoever that offensive coordinator is probably going to be the first guy to go. So that's the first thing I think of with Shieldhouse. And like you said, you're going to leave Sean McVay and Puka Nacua and Matt Stafford, that whole situation they have going out in LA, to come here to be just the first guy out next year when the Browns go 4-13 or whatever, which is I think expected. I've said it before. I think their ceiling is 7 wins, maybe 8 wins. I would expect them to be more between 4 and 7 wins again next year. I don't think it's going to be a miraculous turnaround at all. What a situation to be in right now as a Cleveland fan. Just a couple of years ago, I think people were coming into the season. The season before they went 3-14, just 2 years ago, people were coming in like, hey, this is it. This is the window. This is a Super Bowl window, right? Like, we've got a Super Bowl caliber defense. We've got, some people were delusional about where Deshaun Watson was as a quarterback, even though he hadn't played in the NFL in 2 seasons, basically. They thought, hey, we have a top 5 quarterback. We have a Super Bowl caliber defense. This is the year that the Browns turn things around. We're going, somebody said 15-2 that year. I'd laugh because people were picking them to win the division. And I thought, man, I just don't see this team even coming close to finishing second in the division, let alone, challenging to win the AFC North. And sure enough, they went 3-14, and that buzz immediately died. And just wind out of the sails, right? Air out of the balloon, everything, just all the analogies that you can think of were true. They happened, right? The Browns just literally landed flat with a thud, came reeling back to earth, right? On like double gravity style. Like, bad, really bad. And now here we are. We're looking for a head coach. Nobody wants the job. Nobody even wants to interview. I don't know, man. It felt exciting a week or so ago until guys started pulling out and guys started getting hired in other places. And you realize all the top names they're not even being discussed anymore as a possibility for the Browns. And now it just feels like we're sitting here with leftovers. And we're trying to, scrape some mac and cheese together with some beans or something from the fridge, make a sandwich. And we don't have any bread. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. But it's time will tell. I guess we'll find out shortly, or it may be the long play. I have no idea. Maybe they just go into next season without a head coach, TK. I don't know. Maybe they just hire an offensive coordinator, defense, and maybe Jimmy Haslam comes down, stands on the sidelines, and goes, "Hey, what play are you guys comfortable running?" I know Ted Turner did this in the 70s with the Braves. What are you comfortable running? And then the play clock runs out, and it's another 5-yard penalty, whatever. listen, I can see it playing out. Yeah, I don't know. If you're watching with us, like I said, if you watch this later after the live stream, comment. Let us know who you want for the Browns head coach. Is it Jim Schwartz? Is it Grant Udinski? Is it Nate Shieldhouse? Somebody said, I saw on social media, somebody said, bring in Mike Ditka to coach. I hope that was a joke, man. I think Mike Ditka's like 82 years old. Well, maybe the game's passed him by a little bit. But hey, listen, I guess you like who you like. Someone said Josh Cribbs. I don't understand that one. I don't know that. Listen, your favorite players don't necessarily. They're not going to be the best coaches, right? Like I feel like, just get Joe Thomas to do it. I mean, first of all, like the guy hasn't coached anything in his life, to my knowledge. And now we're gonna, people are mad about bringing Nate Shieldhouse in for an interview. You're gonna bring Joe Thomas literally off the streets. I mean, the guy's talking about football on TV. And we're going to make him the head coach. I don't think that works that way. But people like to bring up their old favorite players. Hey, Eric Metcalf. I saw him return a couple of punts one time. He should be the head coach. We got to chill out on that, man. That's not the way that works at all. But if you, let's say the ridiculous, all that aside, and you had to pick one former Browns player, I feel like I know who mine would be. Who would you be? Like, who would you pick, TK? If you could just pick one former Browns player to come in and be the head coach, and magically it would work. Listen, Raul, before you answer that, he said Mike McDaniel stepped away because Jimmy wanted to pay him with expired pilot rebates. I 100% believe that to be true, Raul. Again, man, I don't even think you're making jokes anymore. You're just spitting facts at this point on the show. We appreciate you watching, man. Justin Gilbert. That's ridiculous. Oh, man. TK, who would yours be, man?
Me personally, I'd have to go with the safety variety on this one. I would take Robert Griffith as our head coach. Okay. Either Robert Griffith or Dante Hittner as our head coach. I definitely think those would probably be fiery guys at the safety position when they played. I'd love watching those guys play, especially when Hittner was here wearing brown and orange. That made my life complete for a while. While he was here, even when he got truck stick by Peyton Manning in that Denver game back in 2015, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I'd probably go with either Robert Griffith or Dante Hittner.
Okay.
I'd bring in Joe Thomas to coach the offensive line. Obviously, that's pretty much a given.
Yeah, that was going to be my guy. I was going to answer seriously and say if we just had to pick a former player, and that's all you had to choose from, I'd pick Joe Thomas. But listen, since Raul Havana said Justin Gilbert, I'm going to go full ridiculous with it. I'm going Peyton Hillis, man. I'm the Madden cover boy himself. I'm bringing Peyton Hillis back in here from wherever he's probably undercover. He's undercover with the CIA right now somewhere, but I'm bringing him back here. He's going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns for the 2026 season. Justin Gilbert can be my special teams coordinator. Let's bring in Johnny Manziel to be the offensive coordinator. And who do we have?
Read the plays that he was supposed to be executing.
Yeah, hey, and magically Jim Schwartz will just stay and coach the defense under all that circus, and he'll be like, "Hey, I'm happy here. It's fine." Man, I love that. That's great. Justin Gilbert made my day, man. Okay, there we go. Oh, all right, touchdown town. Okay, that's a couple good choices right there from Raul. Nothing bad there. All right. I think we're going to get out of here. TK, do you have anything else to say on this cold, frozen, icy tundra of a Saturday afternoon before we get out of here, man, before the storm hits tonight?
Going to be another freezing cold day, folks. I just want you guys to know this entire week is going to feel like hell froze over completely. Please stay warm. Please dress warm. Don't stay out longer than you need to. Yeah. Remember, home is where the heart is, especially during times like this.
Yes.
So, just stay warm out there, you guys. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's going to be cold tomorrow. It's going to be cold and snowy all day. The best thing you can do is probably just get as close as you can to your device. Whether it's a cell phone, a tablet, a TV, whatever it is you're watching us on. Get as close as you can and tune in about noon tomorrow to the Inside Edge Network NFL pregame show. We're going to go over the AFC and NFC championship games. I'm not sure logistically right now. It may just be me and TK tomorrow. If we have Ryan Moster tomorrow, We're gonna bring out the Ryan Moster big board, and we're gonna go over some offensive linemen. If we don't have Ryan tomorrow, we're waiting on that. We will be with you during the off week between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. So if we don't have Ryan tomorrow, no worries. We'll be with you. That off week, and we'll go over interior offensive linemen then, and we'll bring out the Ryan Moster big board and figure out who the Browns should target at guard and center. We got to fix this offensive line. But yeah, like I said, best way to stay warm, stay inside, make a blanket into a hoodie. My kids love doing that. You wrap it around and make the hood, whatever. And just tune into the Inside Edge Network NFL pregame show. We're going to have the conference championship game previews. We'll get our picks. We'll go over both of those games. We'll talk about Jarrett Stidham. Can Jarrett Stidham get it done for the Broncos? I have my doubts, but I've seen some people picking the Broncos over the Patriots, even with Bo Nix out. So, hey, we'll have to see. And then, of course, we'll talk about the NFC Championship game, Rams and Seahawks. One of those teams, to me, looks like an absolute machine right now. We'll get to that tomorrow. I don't want to give away my picks right now. But yeah, TK and I at least will be here tomorrow with you at noon. Maybe we'll have Ryan Moster. So that's a surprise, right? Tune in. We may have Ryan. We may not. So be with us tomorrow. That we can get your picks. Comment on, during the show. We'll get your picks live on the show. And then we can, we'll all make fun of you if you're wrong. It's fine. Just like you can make fun of us if we're wrong. It's all love, right? It's all fine. But again, we appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for being with us on a very, very cold Saturday afternoon. Like TK said, stay warm, stay safe. Don't go out unless you have to. You got to go out and clean the driveway. Do it in small spurts, right? It's going to be very, very cold. It's where us older folks, listen, I'm 46. Us older folks, that's where we get in trouble. We breathe in the cold air. That's how people have heart attacks, shoveling their driveway. So do that in slow spurts. If you've got a snow blower, please use the snow blower. If not, don't be afraid to, I don't know, ask your neighbors for help, something, right? Talk to somebody. It's going to be a lot of stuff. So be very, very careful. Be safe. If you have to travel, please slow down. Please use caution. This is going to be a bad one. We've already, like I said, the state of Ohio is already, we're in a state of emergency already before the snow even starts. So, when that happens, it's going to be a bad one potentially. So be safe and just tune in with us. Stay right in your home. Willing. Hopefully we have power. Hopefully we have Wi-Fi. You never know what the situation may be. But if we do have those things, we will be with you tomorrow here at noon on the NFL pregame show. The Inside Edge Network is all our programming is brought to you by LPV Productions, and we just appreciate you guys so much. We couldn't do it without you. TK and I, possibly Ryan, will see you tomorrow noon-ish. The pregame show. Other than that, guys, have a great Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.